We're joined by a Glasgow legend.
I was convicted of possession with intent to kill. And that was the whole story in the media. Ferris thanks the judge for his text. I thanked him for correcting himself.
Thank you so much for putting me in jail for so long.
People won't realise the strength of Paul Massie until they realise that he's no longer there. Street justice, as whoever was responsible for it, will probably get worked.
This has been straight pay.
Crime pays when you're getting it. I'll go first.
When Russian roulette goes badly.
Aye, when Russian roulette actually works.
There's a rumour that you're going to become the Podfather.
I thought you were the Podfather. If you've got the knife on you, you're going to use it. Some people need that comfort. I'm on the run to keep them company. The reason why they used the open razors was to make the mark on somebody's face.
I mean, it sounds like a fucking mob movie. People fucking get their cars blowing up.
The reality is that because I've got criminal convictions, I'm already of a bad person. I've got a character to defend in law as such.
And I'm reading the book, and I read Wilf up. I said, Wilf, where's all the stories? He goes, well, I don't want to go to jail.
He's told that many people for so many years that he was dying. When he eventually did, nobody believed it.
Welcome back to the Terry Stone Connection, and today we're joined by a Glasgow legend. He was referred to as gangster number one. He's now becoming the Podfather. I've already told him that there's only one Podfather, so I think he's doing the north, I'm doing the south. But please put your hands together for Mr. Paul Ferris in the building, live and direct from Glasgow. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Thank you, Terry.
It's took us a while to do it, but we're here.
It has been. You know, we scheduled this probably about a year ago. No, due to family commitments, your commitments, and what you're doing. So we're here.
Yeah, I think you know, unfortunately, life does get in the way of business sometimes.
And business as well. You know, it's not just a family, the environment. It's a business environment. And if you've got time to do it, you've time to do it.
100%.
So, Southend-on-Sea feels like Scotland. It's pissing the rain.
Well, it's raining, yeah. So it's raining and cold and wet.
I should have bought a waterproof, but I'm accustomed to the weather.
So you're into it now. You're becoming an Essex boy.
Through an invite, yeah. Hands across the border.
Yeah. But for anybody that obviously doesn't know your story, there's a book, or books, should I say, that have been written about Paul. Obviously, if you Google Paul Ferris, there's probably 100 plus news articles. And obviously there's the film, The Wee Man, which we'll get onto later. But, you know, growing up in Glasgow, and, you know, obviously knife crime feels like it's only really become a thing now. But obviously when you were growing up in Glasgow, it seemed that everybody had a blade, didn't they? I mean, it was...
To be fair, back in the day, it was open razors.
Right.
It wasn't just a blade, it was razor gangs and what they had. So we were brought up listening to elders and other people who were polishing their pearl-handed open razor.
They were the posh ones,
weren't they? They were the posh ones, aye. And that was the ones that was probably late 50s, early 60s.
Wow.
Old uncles being involved in it. And then knife crime in itself. I felt comfortable back in the day carrying one.
Right.
Because it's historical stuff with bullying.
Right.
But somebody asked me recently about knife crime, and to put it quite simply, if you're carrying one, you're going to use it. If you ain't carrying one, your comfort blanket's gone.
Right.
So I don't want to be a hypocrite and say this is the solution to it. But in nightclubs and the technology what they've got now with scanners, and they'll find it, you know. But there is a lot of knife crime. Still in Scotland, it's historical.
But Glasgow were the originators, weren't they? Because that was, you know, it was, you know, when I remember reading your book and just thinking, fucking hell, you know, growing up in that environment where everyone's just and, you know, they weren't slashing to kill, they were slashing to maim, weren't they?
Well, the reason why they used the open razors was to make the mark on somebody's face. If somebody stabs somebody, there's a possibility they're going to kill them. Right. They could hit an artery. Nobody's a professional in that field unless you've been taught how to use a knife. And if you get taught to use a knife, it's usually military. And whoever they're using the knife on ain't coming back.
Well, I mean, normally you can tell because they don't wave it around.
But some of the ones that I've seen in London recently on the news, it's that they want to track through the Amazon.
I mean, it is.
It's not a knife. It's like a Crocodile Dundee moment.
Yeah, this is a knife.
That's what it is. But the same aspect as if you've got the knife on you, you're going to use it. Yeah. Some people need that comfort. Even if they've not got a knife, they might have a gun.
Right.
You know, for that comfort value.
I've seen a lot of people, and I've spoken to a lot of people. I've actually been, at the Old Bailey's talking to the judges there because they've actually set up a knife crime initiative where they're raising money to try and educate people in the schools and try and combat it because probably 75 to 80% of all the cases in the Old Bailey are people getting stabbed to death and knife crime. And I actually said to one of the judges, I said, how long do they get? And he said, 25 minimum if they actually carry a blade and kill someone.
There was a similar process in Scotland during the razor gangs. They coined the phrase when they get sentenced, caught in a calmant. Right. Calmant was Lord Calmant, who was the judge, that it was an automatic 10 stretch. I don't think they get remission on that. It was just an automatic. You get an open razor on you, you're involved in these gangs, bang, you've got it.
I think the problem is, though, and this was what I actually said to these guys when we were chatting about it, because they were sort of like, we want to raise awareness for this, we want to help. And I actually said, I said, the issue is, it's like the horse is bolted and you're fucking shutting the door. Giving someone a 25-year life sentence, all right, it stops them doing it again. But then what about all the other people that are walking around with blades? Because like you said, everyone I've spoken to about it, and I've said to them, why are you carrying a fucking blade? And they've said, for protection. And you go, well, have you used a blade? No, but, I know everyone else has got one. So
yeah, but that's the kind of thorny issue. If somebody's carrying a blade and for the comfort and they get into a situation where they feel uncomfortable, they're going to use it. So there's... I can understand it, Terry. I've been there before.
Do you think there's a solution to it, Paul, though? Or do you think...
The solution to it is be aware. If you're going to carry it, you're going to use it. That follows. It's like a domino effect. Right. You're going to carry it, you're going to use it, potentially, not intentionally. You're going to cop for a big chunk of blood, go to the neck. And when you're in the neck and your family get up from the table and walk out the door, you've gave yourself that sentence. So I don't think there's a magic wand regarding it. And sometimes it's probably do more with territorial thing. One guy meeting 5 guys.
Right. And when you grew up, was your family already involved in crime?
My dad's side was. My mum was the holier than thou.
She was the one. She was the good angel. Your dad was the bad.
Well, in Scotland, quite ironic. Mum was a Catholic. My dad was a Protestant.
So that was lively, wasn't it?
It was like, and both of them were migrants. Our families were migrants for Ireland. Right. So as in the here and now, I have a good laugh with the nephews because they're 85% Rangers fans.
Right. And what are you Celtic or Rangers?
Say that again.
No, I'm just want to clarify. You know what I mean?
Because some only has one.
No, right.
So I represent the 15% Celtic family.
Right.
But we have a banter. Right. But getting back to the criminality, my dad was a bank robber. Well, a getaway driver for a bank robbery.
Right.
And other family members were in and out. So, in the environment in Blackhill, where I was brought up, if someone never had a family member that's been in prison, there's something fucking wrong.
So he's a fucking informant.
No, it's just, I don't know what. It's just, if there was probably a few people that never had people in prison, luckily. But I was a local boy. Blinny, I could see from a neighbour's back garden.
And would you say, because of that environment that then made you a product of the environment, so that you were living it, you were breathing it. Your dad was
I think it's easy to tick the box and say you're a product to your environment. But in reality, you're a product to your own self and your decision-making processes. I think when you've got, I've heard really posh people that don't need to go and thieve, don't need to go and rob, don't need to sell drugs, don't need to commit crimes, but they do it for the buzz. Whereas people back in the day got involved in crime to put food on the table. That's what it was all about.
And you growing up, what was your favourite school dinner?
I never got a school dinner because I used to go to my gran's,
Right.
and she would make toast and beans. And it wasn't until after school I go back, my mum comes back from work, and I get toast and beans again. So
That became your
either
favourite.
was a lack of communication between two of them, or they split a ton of beans. But I associated it with going back to the criminality of the family. My dad was in prison.
Right.
So I associated toast and beans
The prison.
with my dad. I was told my dad was away to work.
Right.
And I visited him probably in the mid-70s.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about the food, right?
Right.
So I've been to Scotland a couple of times, one with you and one when I was without you. But when I come up, I was educated by this family about the haggis, about the nippy sweetie and all this, and the wee dram. I had that, and I actually had a fried Mars bar. Are these things that are Scottish staples, or were they sort of posh things that you didn't have when you was a kid?
Posh things? No, there weren't any posh things. If you had enough money to get...
But I didn't know if haggis was like if you had a steak, down here, that'd be the thing.
The challenge was, you missed the challenge because this was in Edinburgh when we met on the premiere on Lonely Place to Die.
We had a good laugh, didn't we?
Oh, we did. Right, but the haggis challenge was more a Glaswegian sort of thing. And we've got Asian friends that do the haggis buns,
right?
Because they've took the Sikh tradition.
Right.
They wear a kilt, but the orange turban.
Right.
And we call them the apprentice boys for Delhi.
Oh, I love that.
Because they're all Rangers supporters.
Right.
But when I go to some of the lads from Manchester, like Paul Massie,
right.
A great friend of mine, tragic ending.
I as you mentioned, Paul, he was Mr. Manchester, wasn't he?
That was Mr. Big, they called him in the newspapers. He was a very humbled guy. And I met him through an old acquaintance, Rob Carruthers. Very, very well respected. Always had an iron fist on. He didn't mind somebody had a puff. Right. Or Sundays had a few drinks and had a few lines. What he was really against was the smack.
Right.
And one of his favourite things was, if you deal with smack, you're going to get smacked.
Right.
So there was a lot of punishment on the street. And people wouldn't realise the strength of Paul Massie until they realised that he's no longer there.
Right.
I done an interview for the BBC on the basis of what happens. And I spoke about street justice. Right. A lot of people don't understand what street justice is, because if you've had the experience with judiciary that want to protect their own, but fair enough, we all want to protect their own as well, so it's an even keel. But street justice is whoever was responsible for it will probably get whacked on the street. The reporter then asked, well, what if the police get him first? It's a fair point. He's got to survive prison. And he's still surviving prison. The person allegedly convicted that done it. Paul Massie's a big loss, and not only in friendship, but he taught me a lot about being welcomed into a different city.
Right. And
one of the main things, and people who know this, was he was for Salford, no Manchester, and he would emphasise it.
Yeah, Salford.
And Rob Carruthers would emphasise, I'm from Eccles, not Salford, I'm not a Mancunian, but Greater Manchester.
But everybody knew him as Mr. Manchester, even though
Oh,
he was from
they
Salford,
did. They
a lot
had
of people.
access to all the doors, all the nightclubs, different things like that. So anybody used to get down. And there was one particular occasion I went down and took an ecstasy and disappeared.
Well, you had one.
I had one.
Or was you doing the old big fish?
No. I needed fresh air.
Right.
I went to the fire exit, opened the door, and just sat in the rain while they're looking for me. What the fuck is he? Right, so
Ferris has been kidnapped.
what is it? One of my nephews was there, and I remember getting took back to this flat. Brilliant experience, Terry. I've got to say, but my ears were still buzzing.
Right.
So somebody gave us a bit of puff, got a cap, woke up in the morning, can't find my shoes. I'm like, where the fuck are these shoes? There's a pair of training shoes lying there that I know ain't mine.
Right.
What I never knew was my nephew got barred for a club because he got trainers on.
Right.
And he's came back, nicked my shoes to get into the club. So waking up in Salford in this flat with nothing in it, only a dodgy pair of training shoes that ain't mine. It was out of respect, Terry. They took us back to make sure that I was all right. I think the E was a bit getting strong. We should have took half of it. I enjoyed the night, but it was an experience, and the comfort level. It's a bit like alleviating a bit of pressure. You're going for Glasgow. When I first met Paul, 1993, not long after the Thompson trial. So he had a big influence then, still had a big influence. And even though he ain't here just now, he's still here because we're talking about.
Yeah. And with that hit
Yeah.
that was put on him, what was that about, do you know?
Without going into too much politics, I do know quite a bit about it. And there's other people that will have to be at the receiving end of street justice. And they know it. Right, because I know it.
The guy actually did it. They actually caught him because he had one of those trackers on, didn't he?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so if you're going to go and kill someone, don't wear a GPS tracker.
So the whole point about it is that was the main key evidence that they found on it. He's doing life for double murder with John Kinsella for Liverpool. And what you've got is friends for Liverpool that will be looking for revenge for John Kinsella. And there's friends for Salford, Manchester, looking for revenge in unison. He's fucked. Doesn't matter where he goes. So the prison security know that. So they've got a friend and foe list. So he'll be either in the block most of the time. Do they take a risk putting them on the wing? Who's in the wing? Is there any Massie supporters, any Kinsella supporters, or any Ferris supporters? Because both of them were friends of mine.
Right.
So
and I suppose
we can forgive sometimes, but we don't forget, Terry.
Well, especially something like that.
No, not like that. No.
I mean, it was a bad way to go, wasn't it? I mean,
there's no good way to go. There's no good way to go. But if somebody feels threatened enough, or somebody's been told by a third party,
but do you think that's what it was? That they felt like they had to do that because otherwise,
there was an attempt on him anyway. So that's one of the things. Do you sit and wait to get worked yourself, or do you do something about it? And what the other fella done was he done what he done. Right. So there's an acceptance on it. What would you do if you're in that environment? He never went to the old bill. Right. He never went to the police. Never took it on his board. He done what he's done. Made a fatal error with a watch. Otherwise, nobody would have known exactly what it is. So.
But it still took him a while to get him, didn't it? I mean, it wasn't a
no.
quick arrest.
It was quite a thorough investigation. And, I was called into the investigation, but I never been done to speak to him.
That's nice, isn't it? They thought you killed your mate. I mean,
no, that's part of the whole thing. It's friends and foe.
Right. Okay.
You know, they do have probably like a fisherman throwing out the nets in the sea to see what they can trawl in and catch. I don't talk to them anyway, so. But there was family and friends that did speak to them. But whoever straight goers anyway, Terry, they're quite entitled to speak to them. But it's finished now. There's still a lot of bitterness involved in it, but karma will come calling on people that have been convicted and demonstrated that the people behind it as well. It wasn't just him, it's the information he's been told. So without going into any other detail, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And from your going back to obviously you're growing up now, you're in this crime environment, or, you start working for Arthur Thompson, and you're obviously building up your rep, and what was the turning point when you sort of fell out? Was it because you were sort of basically eclipsing him, or was it just basically because he was jealous of you, or what was the actual reason?
I think there's a lot of misconception in regards to our involvement, mine and Thompson's involvement. I was bullied by the same family that blew his mother-in-law up in the car. The reason why she got blown up was because Arthur Thompson used to have a driver. So that's why it was under the passenger seat. He dropped his mother-in-law off that night, or attempted to drop her off. Whatever the device, it was either the indicator or movement, Mercury tilt or whatever, boom, done the passenger side. And that was designed for him. And he missed it. So it became my revenge on the bullies.
Right.
More like his enemies are my enemies, his enemies are mine. And there was a kind of a joint force towards that. But my dad always warned me.
Right.
He said, don't fucking get in him, son.
Right.
Do you listen to your dad?
Now you think you know best.
No, that's a problem. But, yeah.
And at that time, it was, it sounds like a fucking mob movie. People fucking
What,
getting
the
cars blown
Godfather?
up.
But that was newspapers. Even Thompson himself was probably embarrassed for it. His solicitor at that time, Joe Beltrami, said that title was media-led for the prohibition area for America and all the mafia stuff and all the rest of it. But I'm sure he played on it now and again, but no in front of us.
Right.
It was never a case of, we need to go and see The Godfather. If somebody ever said that to me, we're going to watch a movie.
Right.
It was either going to see The Old Man, going to see A.T.,
right,
or we're going to see Arthur, Senior.
Nobody called him Don Arfroni.
Don Curly Wurly. But no, it's a media-led thing. They like to sex the story up.
But it was, but the bombs were real, and I suppose like at the time, like there's the slashings, there's the shootings.
Yeah.
Now people's cars are getting blown up. I mean, it sounds like fucking Wild West. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Probably was.
And for you, Paul, obviously you've survived the madness. I know you've obviously
still survived it.
but you got obviously a bit of jail time for the. I know you've been in and out, but the big one was obviously for the firearms and explosives.
Yeah.
And was that linked to all of that stuff? Was that the catalyst for it, where they actually?
There's a side story Terry, where we were interested in printing blocks for. I think it was the £50 notes at the time.
Right.
And there was somebody wanted a deposit in France that I thought, right, okay then, I'm going to print a shitload of this money. So there you go. The minute they put a scream up, at least we've got what we've saying we've got, and then we'll pay them.
Right.
But we ain't getting robbed. I don't get robbed, Terry. It's one of these things. So I was interested in these printing blocks, but there was a friend of mine from Scotland who was living in Eccles, a boy called Addy, sent his girlfriend in, Connie. The guy that we were going to see was an armourer. The fella that I was going to see about these printing blocks happened to be related to Arthur City, but he was also a gun dealer. That I never actually knew about at the time, but one of the main concerns was when I first went there, he already had a box for another Scottish fella, Addy, who sent his girlfriend on the basis that Ackerman never wanted anybody near his house, right? So, because I knew one of the family who was connected to him, I've went, but I don't know I'm under surveillance with MI5.
Right.
And they done when the peace agreement in Northern Ireland took place in 1997, the Good Friday Agreement. The security services were left unemployed, so to speak, and they were told to make themselves busy on serious and organised crime, and they did, and they made themselves busy on me. We were the first ones to get nicked in the UK. I mean, nothing to be proud of it. It's just a matter of true crime. MD wants to Google it and fact checked. It's there, it's documented. Matter of fact, it's in the centenary
Right.
with the security services.
Right.
And the accidental thing I'd done was I told Ray Burdiss, who was involved in producing the Wee Man,
Right.
get this book. Right. And so about 2 weeks later, I phoned them back up and I went, how are you getting on with the book? Did you get it? I'm still in the Cold War.
Right.
I thought he gave him the page.
Right.
That was only maybe about that section on the page that made it.
So that thing that you got nicked for
Yeah.
and put in jail for, you wasn't actually doing anything wrong. You just happened to be talking to somebody.
I'd have still done it anyway. I'm no minimising my position or whatever. If I knew it was in it, I'd have done it.
Right, okay.
That was it. Right, so
At least you're honest.
right, so the whole fact in the box. The funniest thing about it was when my solicitor came up to see us with the box's evidence. There was an elevated photograph that showed something shiny on the back of my head. But at that time, I'm in Belmarsh on Cartier. My co-defendant, Arthur Sutton, he's sharing a cell with one of the mafia guys. He's got an extra mirror. When I say a mirror, it's a shiny piece of metal. Right. Not metal, but because there's two in the cell, one is situated on your wall.
Right.
So if there's two in the cell, you get an extra one. So I went over and asked, because we were playing Kaluki at the time, right? And it's one of the ones, don't interrupt the game. Right. So anyway, I'm fucking, can I get your mirror? What for? You on that? No. What do you want the mirror for? I said, let me deal with it. So I took the mirror, looked in the one in my cell, and held the other one above my head. And that moment, the door opens.
Right.
My co-defendant, Arthur Sutton, what the fuck you doing? I went, I'm going bald. He said, that's the least of our problems. For the benefit of
I love that. Why don't you, do you know something? When I started to recede slightly and I went grey.
No, it's not.
I
It's
shaved it all off.
not to do with that. I've got psoriasis.
Right.
And I put creams on. It's a bit unsightly. So, and it stops you from maybe touching it.
Because when you turn up the day, I thought he looked serious. He's like,
that's a good bit. I like that one.
And how long did you actually get in jail?
I think the trial judge at the time, had obviously looked at intelligence reports.
This guy.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a minded jury, and we're going to put the kind of private stuff on the witness box, and be reading through it. Witness A, witness B, 23 years service. We more or less had the whole alphabet, or there were quite a few there. So I thought tactically to my co-defence and said, let's all agree to the surveillance. There's nothing wrong with the surveillance. They've done their job, very professional. It could have went the other way. We could have all got whacked. Right. And they would have had a great excuse. There's a box, couple of submachine guns, silencers, blue-tipped ammunition and explosives. So they'd be quite right for that public execution. But they were very proper in what they're doing. So we decided to agree on the fact we don't need to call them. If you're going to call them, it's never been in the UK history, legal stuff. So I think we actually done them a favour, done ourselves a favour, really, in agreeing to it. But it was the first time in the UK that the sentence guidelines for the judge superseded what it was, because there was the charge, and people in the legal position will know how it is in England. Number one on the conspiracy gets the top whack. Number two, number three, number four. So there's a sentencing guideline. I was convicted of possession with intent to sell. No, possession with intent to kill.
Right.
So there's a difference.
Supposed to kill, it's a lot worse.
Well,
right?
it came for the Supergrass, John Ackerman, that said that, whatever bollocks he said about me, that they were going to Manchester to Addy, and the girl was taking them up. So there was never any kind of conversation that could have implicated me that somebody was going to get whacked with these things. So what they've got to go with a star witness is the Supergrass, Ackerman, John Ackerman. And on that basis, then they form the charges. Right. So whatever version I gave at court, the jury found they don't believe me, they believe what the thing was. I was intending to plead guilty to get my old friend off and the girl off. There was another guy there that had absolutely nothing to do with it. But the only thing I could plead guilty is to the Crown's position. Right. That's a conspiracy. Right. And pleading guilty to that, the inference means that they're guilty. Right. So when my solicitor explained to me, well, you can't be doing that. What you can do is do it in the witness box. Right. So I turned to number one court in the Old Bailey, sitting there thinking about all the times that the judge put the hat on, to take them to get executed, think the amount of people that's been there. I'm thinking, fucking hell, how did I get here? Right. So from the witness box in court number one, I never disrespected Arthur Sutty. What I pointed out for his defence was he was a glorified taxi driver. That I gave him 50 quid for fuel to take me from A to B. I don't know where I'm going. The girl shouldn't have been there. Her boyfriend should have had enough bollocks
to himself.
Take him down. I don't know what. He's quite active, so I think sending the girlfriend down was a bad choice, but all the intelligence and surveillance was on me. So I'm the spider's web. She just happened to be thrown onto it, and that's what it is. But and that recommendation came from Strathclyde Police.
And I suppose from his perspective, if you sent your girlfriend who's not really involved, you know, it's probably less attention, so you kind of get it. But like you said,
I get it, Terry. And
she got nicked. I
mean, no, it's not the first time.
Oh, right.
And she is active on the streets.
Right, wow.
Good reputation. She's got more balls than most guys.
Wow.
But that kind of conjunction where I think she was the boss. She said, just you go there and do the washing up. I'll be back in a minute. But no, she got a reduction in her sentence.
Right.
So the totality of the sentence at the start was they gave us 15 years, and 10 years concurrent. So the totality was 45 years.
Wow. The
substantive sentence and what he charged, what the judge had imposed, I thought, I'm 5 years out. I knew I was going to get the max, right? But no, that much of max, because I've been told the substantive is 10 years. Take him away. That's what I remember. I had this familiar voice. I was only walked down the stairs a couple of minutes. I had this familiar voice. It was the prosecution that should have advised the judge on sentencing guidelines.
Right.
And he's called me back up. I've heard the barrister call me back up, and I thought, they're going to give me life.
Right.
So I went back up. I've heard the debate going. The prosecution said, Your Honour, you've exceeded the mandate. Because they come off an appeal anyway. Right. So he reduced it from 15, 15 and 10 to 10, 10 and 5. And that's when I thanked him. And that was the whole story in the media. In Scotland, Ferris thanks the judge for his 10. I thanked him for correcting himself. realigning.
Thank you so much for putting me in jail for so long.
No, I didn't want to go on with it.
Give me your address and I'll send you a Christmas card.
But here's the strange thing. There was 4 or 5 other conspiracies.
Right.
And by the time we were nicked first, so by the time you got the armourer that manufactured them, he became number 1 on the totality of it. And he got an 8. Then he had 2 supergrass. He had a supergrass, then a supergrass.
How'd you have a supergrass?
Right, the supergrass was against us,
right,
individually. The supergrass was against the supplier and the supergrass. That's just one of them mad things, Terry. They probably had about fucking 6 boxes of statements. And it was one of them things, right? Okay, then.
I mean, in crime, Paul. I mean, I saw it obviously with the mafia in New York. The law enforcement just worked out pretty quickly that if they lent on these people and said, "Look, you know, you're going to do life, or you can spill the beans," a lot of them were just going and spilling the beans. And I mean, I suppose really that's the difficult thing about committing crime is having people that ain't going to go over. And it's very difficult. Everyone says, no, I'd never speak. I'm loyal, you know, I'll take a bullet for you and all this shit. But then when it actually comes to it, and someone's going, look, you're going to fucking, you're never coming out again. People then just start having second thoughts, don't they? So from your perspective, Paul, how did you, I mean, obviously you've experienced people turning against you and grassing, but, you know, did you have sort of like a sort of way of working where you sort of think, don't fucking tell him too much? Or would you just tell people little bits of stuff so that nobody really knew everything? I mean, how did you sort of protect yourself?
It's a need to know.
A need to know basis.
I need to know basis.
I
always done my own thing. Right. So the only person that could talk about anything was me. So the need to know aspect was, can I get this car? Can I get this weaponry? Can I get a time and a place? Can I get this? For a variety of different sources. So whatever they're going to say is, well, we asked about this, we asked about that. There's no proof.
I suppose that's it, not giving too much away so that people don't have the...
Well, so no, it's not about giving too much away. It's what you learn from your elders. It's not something that I was born to read this thing and go, right, that's the rules. It's unwritten rules. Right. It's things that my dad told me, things that my uncles told me, things that my elders, friends have told me. Not just about keeping your circle tight, but as in, I need to know. Right. And being a lone wolf and doing things, I know people throw that analogy about quite too often, but the only person that could say anything that ever happened is somebody looking in the mirror having a shave.
And with you, when you actually went into jail and you actually did your prison sentence, how long did you actually serve from start to finish?
From start to finish, since I was a kid?
No, just when you actually on the serious
one. On the serious one.
I mean, they're all serious, but that was the really big one, wasn't
it? So it went for 15, 10, and within minutes he rectified it because he exceeded his powers of the sentencing guidelines. So it was 10, and 5. By the time the whole totality of the conspiracy came up, the number 1 got an 8. Right. So I'm sitting down 10. I've got to get less than him. Right. But reduced it to a 7, which meant, and this is a funny story, your audience will love this one. I'm sitting next to Arthur City, an older gentleman, right, in the morning at the appeal court, and they're talking about appealing against conviction. Right. Whatever we put up, it never mattered. And the judges were only sitting earshot distance away. And Arthur City had quite a vocal voice. And he kept going, fucking, can you swear?
Yeah, of course.
So, you fucking old bastard, it fucking is. At every point it came up, right? And I'm thinking, well, they could chop us up. For sentencing, right? So in the afternoon, by the time I get reduced for 10 to 7, he get reduced for 5 to time spent, and it just a coin dropping in his head. he was getting released for the appeal court. And then he went, what lovely men. I went, hold on a minute. I said, they were all fucking arseholes and swearing in the morning. No, they're good men. He went, but I'm going home. I went, good luck to you. That was probably because dementia was kicking in with him at that time.
And for you doing those 7 years, and was that your longest sentence?
In total, yeah.
I mean, how did you sort of go through it, Paul? Did you just, because everyone has a different mindset, when you get something like that, were you just like, I've got to do it, get through it? And
but the whole point of it, Terry, I was a seasoned veteran. Right. For 16 years of age, right through it, I was in young offenders, the short, sharp shock, to wake your ideas up that never worked. To young offenders. And these places become a university of fucking crime.
Right, okay.
Right, and you meet other people.
You got an A star.
And then you get recommended, and it was loads of different things. So I was well prepared for it. Although I'm Scottish and an English, the prison, we've got friends.
Right.
And the minute I end up somewhere, there's money sent in, there's whatever it is. So it's always had a good hands across Adrian's wall.
Yeah. Did you, when you was in jail, I've spoken to various people who've done at all different levels of crime, but when you was in jail, did you have any altercations with anyone, or did you have a
No, I went right through it until the last day I got freed. There was we called him the Gimp, Jason Vela, for whatever reason, jumped on my back and scratched my face in front of 4 screws.
Right.
And I could never understand it. Right, but he's called Malteser for a reason, and in the next film we'll realise who Malteser is.
Right.
All right. I heard he's dead now, but that's.
And with your and when you was in jail, obviously, like you said, nothing really happened to you other than the back jumping, the face scratching,
back scratching.
But with, did a lot of people say, when you're in jail, it is a violent place. And did you see anything that would shock you when you was there? Was it just?
I think I get shocked as a young offender. When there was a friend of mine called James O'Neill, we called him Nearly the Bomb, and it was at the time in Glenorchy where sex offenders were all mixed. There wasn't this segregation part in it. I turned 17, Nearly was near enough, like 20, 21, and then he gets moved on. But he was headed what you call the Glenorchy Wolves,
right?
Focused on sex offenders. And his information came through the prison officers' screws. So one day, Nearly said, "Come and see this." He's got a noose made up with prison towels, and he's walked in and barked to this fella, "Show Paul what you're going to do tonight." So he's up, stood in the chair, and the prison window's opened out the way. So he's put the knot in it, closed the window, put the noose over him, kicked the chair away, and said, "Mum, we'll go and get lunch." I just went and shut the door. That's
not a bad way to treat sex offenders, especially if they're fucking around with kids. But for you as a kid seeing that,
me seeing that. Well, the second one was totally different. Same thing again. Paul won't see this. I thought this boy's dead. Where he died, I don't know. But there was a head count, and then there's the alarm bell. Somebody's went missing or whatever. But the next one was he got a piece of metal for the fabrication shop, and it was really sharp, like an razor. So this he said, "Mum, we'll go and see this one. Show Paul what you're going to do tonight." So he's given him the blade or a shank, right? So he's went to cut himself, and Nearly said, "Nah, that ain't the fucking way to do it. I'll show you how to do it." Terry, as soon as you hit this vein, it just spewed everywhere, all over the place. And it was a case of, right, Paul, Mum, we'll go for lunch. It's twice. I've seen it. Totally calm as fuck. Totally calm as fuck, right? But in my mind, he's killed two of them. Whether they survived or no, I don't really know. But I did ask him to an extent. I said, why are you doing this? He's went, well, I'm in doing I think he was doing a couple of years nearly. I don't really know exactly what it was, but he was a gang leader there at Glenorchy Wolves. And what he said resonated with me. He said, do you not think that their kids' dads, or their mums, or their brothers, or their aunties, or their nephews, or their nieces would want to do something if they got hold of us? He said, so I'm doing it. Right. Are you in? Are you out? Right. I went, I'm fucking in. Right. And that's how, that's,
but that is, I mean...
So taking it for young offenders... I
suppose once you've seen that, there's nowhere you can go after that.
No, but Belmarsh was not an issue. Right. You got a lot of top names for London and connections. Go through it. So go through the adult prison system after seeing that as a young offender. I'm a seasoned veteran. Right. I'm not to be proud about.
Yeah. What else could you say that you think was bad?
But what than that? There was a disembowelment.
Wow.
I think it happened in Franklin after I got out. I don't know. I think it was another sex offender. Not too sure.
That's obviously why they now keep them separate, right?
They will keep them separate. So nowadays there is an on-swing and another wing. And how they get flushed out is because they've got to do the training courses like enhanced thinking skills, or they'll lose their privilege for the enhanced thinking skills and alternative therapies towards adjusting yourself for criminality. But all these reports were made by a Canadian psychologist that happens to be a sex offender.
I mean, I think if you're, and I've always had this thought. I mean, I've got you. I know you have as well, right? But when you're in that place where you're attracted to fucking children and you actually start doing things like that, that is like a red line for me. And it's sort of like if you're going to go down that road, you're not sick, you're fucked up.
That's how that interview. I only seen it recently. It was about the boats on the Thames with John Ledger. Is it Ledger or Wedger?
Wedger.
John Wedger.
Yeah. And he actually said,
he should be a psychologist. What he's done is he's a whistleblower. He's blew up some of his colleagues that was doing a bit of naughty. But he had 4 kids. And what resonated with me was, where's his wife? She f***ed off and left them with the 4 kids. And when he was asked the question about his wife, so it resonated with something. He's got 4 kids. He's now policing things where he's hearing things about kids. And he's thinking, whoa, hold on a minute. That could be mine. So I commend him for what he's done.
I mean, there's...
To understand it from an investigator point of view, it's sickening.
The thing is, it's, and for him, I think where he's shone a spotlight on it.
Shone a spotlight in a dark place.
And it's that thing where you go, well, and I kind of get it from... these people that work in law enforcement, they get paid to do a job. And, it's a bit like if you work in a factory and someone says, you got to pack all these boxes up, right? And then someone comes in and goes, oh, actually, if we do this, we can, times 10x their workload. And then people are going, well, I'm only getting paid this. I actually don't want you to 10x my fucking workload. And I think what he stumbled on was a massive issue where people had worked out how to get around the law.
Yep.
And, obviously if you work in law enforcement, and if what John's saying is true, and I've got no reason to doubt why he would make that up, you'd think actually they'd come down on like a ton of bricks and go, right, okay, let's change the law so that if they are on these boats, that you have to register, you still have to register so that people, because if you're living near one of these...
There's a grey area. What I've discovered is there's no legal requirements to register a boat.
But that's why I think they should change the law. Because then if
that was his biggest...
Change the law. If you haven't got the manpower to deal with it, change the law And because if I'm living near one of them fucking boats, and there's someone on there.
But bear in mind, he's took it away back. That was probably one of the oldest police stations ever. That was to deal with maritime law,
Right.
and he gave things about how modern law is when somebody gets bailed. It's to do with an analogy for the ship.
Right.
You're sitting in the dock,
Right. Yeah.
the gallery. All these things. I start to think that is an offshoot of maritime law,
Right.
For seizures and different things like that. So he's very clever on how he presents himself. So it's probably a difficult task, but when you get into a situation that they go in front of the judiciary, they pedophiles, what are they going to get? Slap the wrist, get put back.
Well, they don't.
That's why nearly in the Glenorchy Wolves, I'm not proud of it, but it was just a fact that these people done some serious bad things to young vulnerable people, and they go to the comeuppance in prison. So I'm not saying it's the right thing. It's better that they're isolated and keep them away, because somebody who's seriously through the streets that's got a beef, that maybe had a bad visit, a bad phone call, looking for what I'm fucking going to do him. Keep them off the line.
And when you was in jail, is that when the Wee Man book was written? This episode is brought to you by Marc Oliver Bespoke Tailors. Now let me tell you, Marc Oliver is one of the best tailors in Savile Row. All of their products are made in Milan. I've had my suits made there for over a decade, and I swear by them. Marc Oliver brings together the classic Savile Row sharpness with the contemporary cut and style of Italy's leading tailoring houses. Available by appointment only in London's Savile Row. Marc Oliver's award-winning luxury service is the best there is. So go on, treat yourself to a luxury bit of tailoring. Click on the link below to check out what Marc Oliver Bespoke has to offer.
No, I've wrote the first one. That was the Ferris conspiracy.
The Ferris conspiracy?
Yeah, I wrote that in 2001 when I was still in prison.
Right, okay. Sorry, because I got that wrong. So the Ferris conspiracy was
the
when
book.
he was in jail,
Right, and so when the book came out, I gave a copy to my co-accused, Arthur Sutty, who gave it to his mate, Joey Pyle,
right,
the senior,
yeah,
who then gave it to Wolf Payne,
right.
Another legend.
Well, we got to talk about Wolf, because that's how we got connected.
Oh, really? Wolf through Wolf?
Yeah,
All
because
right.
that's how we first met. And it was actually quite funny because...
did you meet him down in Brighton?
No, so...
Or did he come out London?
So I met him years ago when he was... when the Krays were alive, he was brokering another movie with them.
Yeah.
And he come to me and said, we got Dave Courtney introduced us, funny enough, and he said, "Oh, you got to meet Wolf. He's the only Englishman in the mafia.
That's right.
He's got mad fucking stories."
Yeah.
And I met up with him and we had a bit of lunch, and we actually become very good friends. And whenever I went over to the States, obviously he connected me with his friends over there, and we got looked after. But he was
a character.
He was absolutely. And the thing is, this will make you laugh, Paul, and this will resonate with you. He said to me, Terry, he said, I'm dying, right? And this was for 20 years, he said.
I know.
He was dying for 20 years. And every time...
But the thing about it was, when he did die, nobody believed him.
Yeah, he hasn't died. He's always said that. But it's like, whenever I went to America, because we used to always go to the boxing, and we'd be sort of in New York or Vegas, and we'd always see a few of his friends over there. And they'd always go, "Wolf died yet?" And I'll be like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, he's always fucking dying. Do you know what I mean?
Can you mention the family?
Yeah.
Start with a B.
But he was obviously with the guy. So when I spoke to him, he was the guy that he was like pals with that was in Vegas was a guy called Jay Cusimano, who was, they called him the boss of Vegas. And then there was another guy called Bobby Ubriaco, Bubbles, he looked like Pussy from Sopranos. The Genovese, it was the Genovese, wasn't it?
Oh, Pagano.
No, but they were part of...
They were part of...
Yeah, because the Pagano... So Joe Pagano was the guy, and he actually told me this mad story. And he said, because he was managing Black Sabbath. Now, a lot of people don't know that Don Arden, who Wolf was his muscle, And then when they were traveling with Black Sabbath, Don's daughter, Sharon Osbourne, basically was like, Ozzy, these people are no good. Let's do it without them. So that's why they obviously stopped managing Black Sabbath. But when they were like kicking off, there was a moment where Joe Picano said to Wilf, "You're getting married." He goes, "I don't want to get married." He goes, "You're fucking getting married. We need to have a meeting." And he's going, "What do you mean?" And obviously, because they were all under observation, he had this big like wedding in New York to this woman that he hardly knew, just so they could have a meeting. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, he obviously told me lots and lots of stories about things he did and mad shit. And he said, I'm writing a book. John Pearson, who wrote Professional Violence, writing my book. Yeah. And I was like, I can't wait. Wilf, please, can I have the fucking film rights? So he goes, yeah. He goes to John Pearson. He goes, sell the rights to him for £1. So John's going, you cheeky gun, you know. But he did it.
It's a legal remake.
But then he gave me the book, and I'm reading the book. And I read Wilf up. I said, Wilf, where's all the stories? He goes, well, I don't want to go to jail. He goes, I've never been to jail. And he goes, and I said, but I said, we need to have the stories. He goes, I'll tell the stories, you know, but when I die. And I said, but you've been dying for 20 years. But that was the only regret.
He was a good storyteller. Do you know why he ended up in America?
He told me that it was because he was doing Black Sabbath and he was doing music and
similar thing.
Right.
He wanted to get away from the violence in London and start fresh. And he was telling me the story about when he had the recording studio. There was a big lump standing there every day. Wolf thought he was going to get taxed.
Right.
You know, the way they do it, you're operating your business in your manner or your area. Turns out the fellow was there to speak to Wolf about one of the family's boys who didn't want to be in the mafia, wanted to sing a song and record that for the wedding,
right.
for the dad's birthday. Right, so Wolf told me the story, but boy was a good singer, Paul. He said, but the song wasn't for him. So he's done a couple of things with him. He's recorded that, went back, got rid of the big lump. They'd been there for 3 or 4 days. And they came back. And they came back on the basis that the big lump tells Wilf the story. The dad was so impressed with the song. He said to the boy, find out who this is, we want him. He went, it's me. No, me, I did. Yeah. The boy said it's me.
So it's like he went out of the phone.
So he didn't want to be involved in mafia. Ended up with Wilf, right? But the big lump that was standing at the door, I can say this now because Wilf, right. God rest him, he's no longer here. The big lump whacked a guy in the woods. Right. The Wolf saw the flashes with this boy that didn't want to be in the mafia. And they were there to take the body away. And Wolf was given the gun to shoot him. He's went, I can't do that. He's went, he's already dead. But how'd you know? Guys felt to him as well. He's fucking dead now, isn't he? Right. So he's went back and reported to his boss that Wolf and the boy made their bones.
Right.
But they never.
But it's mad. It's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. And he actually said to me that that a lot of the stuff he did was, you know, they were so paranoid about everything. They just deliver messages they do envelopes. So.
Do you know what? When he came back to England, he's thinking, right, he came up to Scotland, he stayed with me for a couple of days. And one of the things he always emphasised is, if you're in, you're in. There's no out. Even coming back to England. Well, you've got to do that.
He said that to me because when I was doing stuff, when I was going to America for the boxing, I was always saying to Wilf, you know, I wouldn't mind expanding what I'm doing into America. And he goes, you don't want to expand with them. He said, because once you're in, he goes, they ring you up and say, do that. And if you don't do it, you're gone. So he said, it's better just be nice to him. Hello, how you doing? I'm Wilf's friend. You know, but that's it. But
what they call it, eyes and teeth.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
But it was always funny because they knew Wilf in the 60s.
Well, Wolf,
when he was with the Krays and when they were all running around with Charlie Richardson and all them guys.
But he was an entertainer. Terry was never a villain. Right. But he was a big lump. Right. And as you quite rightly stated, he's told that many people for so many years that he was dying. But when he eventually did, nobody believed it. Oh, it's Sam at it again.
I'll tell you what though, he again he got a good send off, and it was quite sad for me because we were very good friends. He connected me with some amazing people, and we met obviously through Wolf, and you know, I think the first time we met, I think it might have been, I don't know if it was. I think it was before you made your film, wasn't it?
Because, that would have been Terry.
Because I think the reason he connected us was because we've had a similar journey in films in that
without Wolf, I don't think both of us would have progressed on that road as smoothly.
Well, what was interesting, you was talking about Joe Bowl and Wolf and how you got sort of, you know, your film off. How we got Rise of the Foot Soldier off was Carlton gave me his book and I read his book.
Same process.
And I was like, I love this book. I'm going to develop the script. And I got a few writers in, did all the sort of donkey work. And then for 2 years, I was running around knocking on doors trying to get it. And then I met Mike Loveday.
Oh, right.
And Mike was like, he all big cigar, and he was like yeah, tell, you know, we like this. We're going to give you a mil for this film, right? But we got one rights. And I was like, sweet. And I walked out of the meeting. I thought, this is bollocks. No one's going to give him £1 million for a film, for a bit of paper. But he did. And that's how Rise of the Foot Soldier got funded and made. And you had a similar experience.
Do you know that it's quite ironic that I went through the same process for Arthur Sutty to Joey Pyle to Wolf Payne, Mike Loveday. With a cigar. He loved his boxing cigar. Brilliant guy. I'm going to see him later on personally and shake his hand. He's had quite a bad experience and lost his partner, and he's want a dignified exit, and I'd like to give him a shout out. Tribute for both of us. I mean,
without Mike Loveday, without our friend Mike Loveday, we wouldn't have. You wouldn't have had your film on mine. So.
Bang on. So I felt tribute to the man who
made it happen.
Who was Carnaby, but he always got me about the cigar and his attitude. No, fucking do it. Go and do what you want. But you wouldn't suspect how powerful he was. And then the next step for me was we need a director. So somebody happened to mention Ray Burgess. I thought, I know that name. He said, your guys will know him for North London. Right. So that I got Ray's number through one of my contacts who was in France at the time. One of the big chateaus with his own vineyard.
Did he have a cigar as well?
No. He was just busting at you back home, but I think he was homesick.
Right.
And drunk too much his own wine.
Right.
Which is probably on par. If you've got a vineyard,
you're going to drink it. Right?
You need to test, make sure it's all right. Ain't you? So he came back, linked up with Mike Loveday and Carnaby through it. So again, it wouldn't have happened with the book. Same with you and Carlton.
Yeah.
You know, somebody gives you a book, you look through it and all your things. But when somebody signs a document on a release agreement, if they don't know the industry, they need to make sure that that release agreement allows a prequel, sequel without any unencumbered issues in it. And I've only learnt that because Mike Loveday has satisfied the investors for the second movie.
Right.
Well, a letter of comfort by saying it's unencumbered. It's all tactical stuff, but it's a letter of comfort that investors need to go. It's the same as you're selling a car. Somebody's going to HPI it to make sure there's no finance on it. Yeah. Or you're selling a house that the title's no encumbered with somebody adding a bit of debt onto it. So he's cleared up that grey area. I look forward to shaking his hand later on. And if you're about, you'll probably have. I'm going to get a cigar for you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going to get a couple of cigars for him for later on.
Well, send him my best for you.
I will do it, yeah.
If you're nearby, I'll come and say hello.
All right, then. I'll keep you to that.
I've got to do some other filming after this.
Yeah, all right, cool.
If I'm around, I'd love to see him because I haven't seen him for years. But one thing I did want to speak to you about, which obviously one of your guys recently passed, Jambo McClean.
Oh, Jambo.
And he was your one of your sort of most notorious guys. And one of the things that made me smile was it said that, you know, he would basically dispose of informants in a furnace, which I thought was a novel way of getting rid of a body. But I'd love to hear a bit about him because he seems to have so many crazy stories. I felt I actually met him when I come up to see you.
You did.
He was with us, wasn't he?
You did meet him. But it was at a stage where he was having advanced psychological issues.
Right.
But what triggered it, Terry, was he got stopped at Glasgow Airport on his way down to visit me in Belmarsh.
Right.
I get chatting in an interview room. He's asked for, well, they've given him a can of Coke opened. He reckons he was faked. Really? He ended up in Castells, completely off his fucking nut. Once you get into the places, and the medication, if you don't take the medication, they're going to force you on the medication, right? So when he came back out, we were doing financial recoveries. And there was one particular one, it's quite a famous story, where James, because his size and build, was just there as a non-speaking role. There's somebody there. There's extra. There's somebody there to deliver the message. And the message that was getting delivered was to the guy who, Mr. A, that owned this aquarium shop, but he had quite a few in over Scotland. Some of these fish were like 1,500 quid.
Wow.
A mad thing. So
can't really put them in a little bag and take them.
This is where we started to understand. The fella who was there spoke to the aquarium owner and said, "We know where you're driving, we know where you live, all these sort of things. He ain't for moving." So I get told after it how it gets sorted. So when the fella's telling me, Paul, I told him where he lived, what car he's driving, he wasn't for moving until Jambo said, "Listen, you can swear again, eh?"
Yeah, of course.
"Listen, you prick. You don't get it sorted out the fish again." He crumbled. He crumbled and went, took $5,000 out the fucking till. Right. Not even interested in his own safety. What he's driving, where he's going, where he's staying.
When it comes to the fish.
Who'd have thought of that, really? It's alternative thinking. But he did go in a bad way. But he started to talk about things that existed, but not at that time.
Right.
He was clever enough to mention a lot of things that were true, but in a different era.
Right.
And he was fucking ruthless. Right. You know, but very loyal.
Yeah. Have you got any horror stories you can share with us? I mean, obviously he's not here now, so but just things that that he allegedly did. But
one in particular stands out. I wasn't involved in the security industry at the time, right? But there was a heavy presence on this door called the Savoy in Glasgow. So Jambo's out with his mate. None of talking to us. I never went to the clubs there. I sat outside, waited for them to come out.
Well, I know when we had air, you didn't come to that.
No.
Like, take the boys with you. I'm going home.
No, it's just one of the. I get fucking mad ears.
Right.
Anyway, so Jambo and another fellow who I won't mention get badly beaten up in this tunnel type thing. Although there was a club called the Tunnel, but there's an entrance into the Savoy. People would know it. They get bashed up really badly. And then decided we're going to have a go at these bouncers when they get out. So as the story goes, the two bouncers are sitting somewhere in the car and they hear them through the window. They're talking about, "Did you get this girl's number?" You know, they're shagging. And they're getting numbers at different birds and different angles like that until turn around. Jambo, boom, shotgun right in the face. And the other one.
Take it I didn't do that again.
Take it you never get barred. Right, so we can't speak about that one.
I mean the thing is
there's no fear.
And this is the other thing which a lot of bouncers always need to know is that, you know, when you take liberties with people, make sure you know you're taking liberties with them.
But that's the classic example. So it's well documented. I don't think they even made any statements. I don't even think they went back on the doors. But they did. Jambo and his friend got up maybe 6 or 7 neck holds, ribs bust, fucking bad going over. And I remember him saying I think I had a broken rib, but he gets strapped up and then he put his vest on to make sure.
I should have that's got broken.
So he was well armed. It was one of the ones where I think he get embarrassed in front of his partner as well.
Right.
I think the girls, whether his wife or whatever, but total embarrassment. But after their night shift, excuse me, sitting somewhere isolated, bang, Jambo shot them. One
thing that I know we've spoken about off camera, but you've had a lot of I wouldn't say good press, but you've had lots of press. You've been painted obviously as the godfather of Glasgow, and this crime lord, and this bad person. And I know obviously you kind of act, because I know when the film Wee Man come out, it got BAFTA, it won a BAFTA.
One, two.
But it's because it was one for the film, one for the director. Is that right?
No, one for the film. Not the youngest BAFTA winner ever.
Right.
Young Daniel Kerr.
Right.
And then they got the BAFTA for the audience award.
Right. Okay.
Which they were trying to ban. So the audience have spoken.
Because I know you said
it's a double BAFTA award winning film.
But it's a great movie, and I enjoyed watching it because obviously I met you and I knew some of the stories and read the book. Actually, watching the film was really entertaining, and I thought Martin Thompson was wicked.
It was brilliant, but unfortunately, Martin's and with the BBC now we've lost them again. There's a name that I could mention, but I won't.
Oh, this is for the
next second one. Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to ask you about the press stuff. Obviously, the press have obviously painted you as this bad person, but I take it because of that, it's obviously affected you having a legitimate business, and obviously if you do set anything up, they're on you. And I mean, how's it affected you? Because when people print stuff about you that may be embellished or untrue or an exaggeration or just saying you're a bad guy. How does that sort of affect you personally and your family?
I look at the realities. And the realities is that because I've got criminal convictions, I'm already of a bad person. I've not got a character to defend in law as such. So Reg McCain, my literary partner in crime writing, would always comment, "Oh, it's like fucking open season on clay pigeons." They can write what they want, do what you want. Malicious falsehoods are different.
Right.
But when you discover whatever journalist is involved, whatever newspaper's involved, it's got to go through their legal team. And 9 times out of 10, the legal team was also Strathclyde Police Federation lawyers.
Right.
So they want to paint a bad picture, they paint a bad picture.
But the thing is, you've made a film, you made a book, right? Everyone knows who you are. So what I sort of, for me as an individual, just reading it, I just wonder what's the purpose of carrying it on? Is it just
me? Oh, it's personal.
No, for them.
No, for them. Oh, they've lost.
Right.
It used to be a score draw.
Right.
There was no winners in it. There used to be a score draw. And so I've decided, no, we're going into extra time.
Right.
We're going into extra time, and I'll finish when I've got no further breath left.
Right.
Because I could have got whacked in 1984 with the Serious Crime Squad. There's other situations that I've got audio tapes to them talking about whack me. And if you try to explain that to somebody without that evidence, you're fucking nuts or you're paranoid.
Oh, so you?
Oh, it's in the book. It's in the book. Unfunny's Business with Steve Wraith. So, and I've put all the transcripts in it, all the relevant stuff in it.
So you don't have a particularly good relationship with law enforcement?
No. Well, what they've done is they've changed for Strathclyde Police into Police Scotland. I've got no issues with Police Scotland at all.
Right.
It's a different. It's like right. Whatever troubles you had in the past were regional Strathclyde area. We in the Highlands, we know what you're talking about because we've heard it. We know what you've went through. You know what it's all about. Just leave me alone. Let me go on.
Are you still in Scotland now?
Yeah, I went down. I sold the farm after an HMRC exercise, having to pay back what you're doing. So there's no point in going straight if you're not going to do it. So my wife and kids had left at that time anyway. So and I sold it for well under value, just to make an attempt. Then I went to visit family on 2020 February, and then COVID kicked in. So I lived with old auntie, and he was 90-year-old, an honorary old aunt, for that full year in Epsom golf course.
Right. Well, no, yeah, he was near me.
Yeah, right, but what should and the story behind it was she's very disciplined, very sharp for her age. So I've tried to make her aware. Do you understand what COVID is? There's a threat because I've got to isolate with you. The other family's got to come over and leave groceries outside. So we decided, give me a shopping list. So put all the shopping list on. First one I got was Epsom Asda. Right. The queue in that was fucking unbelievable. That was right out the door, right from the click and collect, right into the car park. And I thought, I'll try somewhere else. Everywhere was like that. There was that many people. So when I came back in the first time, old auntie, being at North London, head to toe. So where's the groceries? I went, you won't believe the queue. Gave it an hour and I'll go back out, which I did. Still the same. No, as big, but
no toilet rolls, was there?
Nah, that's the funny thing. You see a male or female. One's got a trolley full of toilet roll. So I found a convenience shop where I could get my tobacco, get her a cigarettes, couple of cans of beer, and I always remember bread. There was no brand on it. It was just a bakery that was doing it with a clean wrap on it because of COVID. So I went back up, head to toe examination again. Where's the rest? The groceries. I went, there's still a big queue. Right. And then she put it right on me. Right. Well, you got yours then, eh? That's not decided. You need to come and see this. Get your gloves on, get your mask on. Put the air conditioning on, because you don't know if it's airborne. And I drove past this. The first person she called was Freddy Foreman. Right. That was a friend. And they were talking about the Second World War. And I'm listening to a live person talking about her best mate, about them Jerry bastards that dropped the bomb. They blitzed the whole place apart from his bakeries. Right. And a bomb had been dropped. It never went off, and right along the cobbles into the bakers and blew the bakers up. And she's going, fucking rationing. You've never seen. And then she mentioned the thing about the trolley with the toilet roll. So the Second World War thing was she's seen it for herself. That was brilliant. Brilliant. And then
Freddie's in a home now.
Yeah. I've spoke to. He done the launch of the new book and the punch bowl, which was very kindly. I still couldn't get a chat. They were still talking about this fucking Second World War, which is brilliant. It's as what was yesterday to these people, right, and the history behind it. But Fred's another absolute real deal gentleman. And
yeah, I've not seen him. I think last time I see him, he came to one of her film premieres, and he was very frail. I mean, I think he was, but he still came at the after party.
Oh, no,
and he was like, and I was like, Fred, I said, you look fucking great, mate. And he was like, I'm fucking 79. So he's probably in his 80s now, right? He's got to be 84, maybe 83. Yeah. But I was going to get him obviously to come on, but someone said, he's in a home now, and he's not.
I think to be fair, he's been unwell for quite a while. Not saying people took advantage on that, but. Right. The fact that where he is just now is something that he'll reflect back on and find his own peace. And we wish him well on that one as well, Terry, because he's a top man.
He's a good guy, yeah. And with the RA, obviously, in the 70s, there was obviously all the conflicts in Ireland. There was obviously the bombs here. With the RA, they're obviously still massively active and still, doing whatever they're doing. But do you think they've changed from what they were?
I think they're still freedom fighters, anyway.
You don't think it's changed? You think it's still there? But
I think they've. It's not for me to comment on it, really, Terry. But the technical proficiency that they've got now and the reach is having not just a tree with many branches, but having an orchard with many contacts. Right. And these are the sort of people you don't argue with. Right. You don't pick fights with because you just get whacked. Right. And that's how it runs. They keep it in house and do what they're doing. So I think Glasgow's 20 years behind. Wow. Kind of Belfast with the sectarianism with Glasgow Celtic and Glasgow Rangers. And I have got Irish friends that say, what the fuck's all that about? Right. You know, they're talking to each other over there. Well, most of them are. They're happy with it.
Do you think it's the older people that still have the grudges?
No, it's the younger ones you've got to watch it for.
Right.
They're up and coming.
I didn't know if the younger ones were like, this is all bollocks, right? They're worse.
No,
right?
Okay. And you've got different elements. It's not for me to sit and describe what the elements
are. Do you know something? It reminds me a little bit of the Middle East. You know, when you have, different.
Why do you think they fly the Palestinian flag?
I have no clue.
They're freedom fighters. They're fighting for the sympathy for the Palestinians. Right. And it's entrenched in them because they fought the British forces for many years. Right.
I mean, I always think that when you look at Ireland and when you look at Palestine and when you look at Israel, when you look at all these different things, it's so complicated. And whatever you say or whatever you think, there's another view and there's another reason why it's wrong. You know,
sometimes you get educated when you least expect it.
Right.
Terry. And one of the recent examples was when I wrote the first book, The Ferris Conspiracy, in conjunction with Reggie. There was a bit in it that called the mainland, and mainland Britain. And so this has been read by a young Irish Republican prisoner, scholar, who came out his cell and said, it's going to be a good book, Paul. He said, but what the fuck's this mainland all about? I never wrote it.
Reg.
That was Reg. That was Reg. So as I was speaking to it, we removed it out of the book. Right. And then the other part of it is, there's name. The minute somebody mentioned Northern Ireland, right, it's not Northern Ireland, it's the north of the island. Right. It's the island of Ireland. So you need to watch what you're doing.
Make sure you're getting the terminology right.
You get some, and if you don't, they'll soon fucking tell you. Right. So moving on for that, there's a lot of peace.
That's good. I mean, do you know something? One of the things that I'm a massive advocate of is I just think where the world's so fucked up, and every country in the world is got its issues, but I just think there's too much division, too much politics, too much this, that, and the other. You're this side, you're that side. I think everyone should try and pull together, and there should be some sort of peace, and there should be some sort of let's actually just get on.
Just to touch on that one, it's probably the first time ever that you had half the tricolour and half the Union Jack on the same flag, right, about migrants in Ireland. And then people were concentrating on how'd that happen? You know, that's two foes that came together, not just came together, there's a banner. And then that's what it is. So sometimes it takes a spark and mutual respect on both parts of what they're doing. So I'm not really well versed about the political side because I don't get involved in politics.
I'm the same.
And I don't get involved in religion, apart from the football, 90 minutes, an extra time.
Football is your religion.
Well, it is, but it's one of these things. It's right. Glasgow's still getting entrenched on Rangers and Celtic, and probably will be for a long, long time.
And for your, obviously we've talked about your life, your experiences, and I've had a great time today, Paul.
I'm
really glad you come on.
I'm glad you've done it. It's been long. It's been long overdue. With personal things, both you and I have got to do. So at least it's done now, and there's a commitment.
And what I think all of the Terry Stone Connection audience, both on the audio platforms and the visual platforms, will be dying to know what is Mr. Ferris doing next.
What am I doing next? I'm actually finishing off the 10th script for the new film.
I just want to throw my hat in the ring. I don't know if you watched Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins. Well, I did do a little bit of a Scottish accent.
I think I've seen you before with hair. I'll never recognise you without the wig. but there's more. Well, Scott Payne, he could actually do he's the actor that was on the Weemer. Brilliant accents. He can do Cockney accent, Liverpool accents, and all the rest of it. So, you need to go casting.
Right.
You need to see this casting agent. You need to see Ray Baldus to go, all right, we're getting Terry Stone on.
I can say, by the way.
By the way. That's North Fife.
I'm f***ed up. I need to
get
bring
caught
it down
out with the
a bit.
linguistics. It's like, all right, my old son. If you don't get it properly, they go, what the fuck's that? He's a Jekyll.
Yeah, he's a Jekyll, yeah.
You get artificial intelligence that can do that now. Right. So the next step.
But you're doing the new movie.
Yeah.
Is that Wee Man 2 or is that?
No, the Wee Man 2 would have been a continuity to Martin Compston. Unfortunately, Martin Compston is in with the BBC, as we explained earlier. So it's a fresh international approach with a big named actor that commands probably in excess of 1.2 million quid a fee. So that's where Ray's heading towards. It's under contract NDA just now on the basis that any point in mentioning who you've got in line because it could spoil it.
Well, it also changes.
But I've had the script.
Well.
Yeah, I've had the script, and we've tidied it up over the last couple of years. And again, credit to Mike Loveday, credit to Ray Baldus for the entertainment value, because that's what I understood artistic license. Right. Even with me reading the script, I thought, my dog never died like that. And I'm saying to Ray, he says, we can't get all the bullying on.
Right.
So this is going from a Glasgow Scottish story, which is the Wee Man, and to Ferris, just the film.
Right.
That's going to be in Manchester, focus on Manchester, Salford, Eccles, London, with the MI5, and then Malaga, funny enough. The Queen Vic.
We haven't talked about the Malaga thing. What? Marbella.
The Malaga thing was, what I remember early 80s was MD for Scotland would fuck off to Spain on the run. I don't even think they had an extradition treaty.
No, I think that was brought in afterwards.
Because everybody was over there. But what I remember is, I was in the Queen Vic. I wasn't on the run. I was over to see somebody, but you learn about, what's this? Going up and ask for Iron Brew. Iron Brew being the Scottish national drink is the code for the barmaid to come out and give you if many cans you want. So that was to do with, it was for two people. It was 2 keys for the tennis club that somebody for Scotland was running.
Right.
And they'd have got pesetas at that time, maybe 100 quid's worth of pesetas. And that was the name of the road.
Right.
Until she would then phone up somebody and say, look, there's so-and-so in rooms 1 to 6 or whatever in the tennis club. And they would go and then take them away to a villa somewhere on the run. So loads of characters involved in it. But the Queen Vic was like a magnet for even.
Well, Freddy was down there, wasn't he?
How the fella ended up with the tennis club also looked after young Jamie Foreman.
Right.
When Fred got knocked, he'd the club in the desert in Tarragona, I think it was. So our guy, Scottish guy, that ran a tennis club, they took in young Jamie Foreman. And I was currently doing a couple of things on it because these people that were on the run weren't they villains. They were money getters.
Right.
A couple of fraudsters, a couple of chancers, down to the town, but they ended up in the big league by accident. So I don't want to give in away because I'm doing a 6-part series for the TV.
Well, it's good to tell people
But
because then they look out for it. You know?
Oh, but what we're going to do is we're going to get the cameras to film the exact location, but change the name of the pub.
Is the Queen Vic still there now?
I'm not too sure, Terry.
I don't remember seeing it when I was.
But it's a proper fucking Londoner pub.
Right.
I mean, Queen Vic, you can't get any more fucking Londoner than that. With a Scottish barmaid, which was absolutely brilliant. And I've seen it all myself, Terry. So it's like personal stuff where if I was on the run, would I go there? Probably.
I mean, it's sunny, right? And it's
sunny.
Great fun.
No, let's get it right. It's not the UK.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, until they got that extradition, the treaty, it became more a burden that the Spanish authorities had to act on it. And the first one, the big major one, was like Freddy Foreman. The Eagles Club that he had. That was the name of the thing. And being in the middle of nowhere, I had this Scottish accent. Right. I looked around. There's 3 brothers. I thought, what the fuck are you doing here? We're on the run. I went, what's wrong with you? One had been involved in a relationship with Thompson's daughter that overdosed with heroin.
Right.
So the brother, another crime, but no big crime. And the third one was about my age.
Right.
Big tall, skinny fella. And I went, his name was Chalky. I said, what are you on the run for? I'm on the run to keep them company. so they ended up and the Queen Vic ended up in Ronnie Knight's club where someone kicked off. There was a Dutch fella in there, big hash dealer. He's dead now. He killed himself, but by accident.
Well, when he got taken out then as well.
Yeah. There was a few, but these boys had jumped in, and the Dutch fella ended up taking them as part of their security. But he had a bad gambling habit, with a revolver, playing Russian roulette.
I mean, that's always going to have a
Russian roulette, Jack Daniels. So I'm getting told the story for one of the boys that was there. The youngest brother, because this fella used to put fucking 10 large on it. Like, well, who wants to play? So he's took the bullets, took the gun, put it away at the fucking road. But there was none of that mentioned, the channel. It was just pure fucking Jack Daniels stuff. So he's got the gun. He don't know it's fully loaded. Who's playing? Double the stakes. I'll go first. Shot yourself. So I'm saying to the fella who was there, I said, what the fuck that? He said, we were on the run. How can we go and explain this? They ended up taking him out the desert and burying him.
Right.
And then the next day somebody turned up with 50 lads. So-and-so about, no, he's back in Holland.
But you can leave that here with me.
I'll
make sure he gets it when
he
he
wore
comes
his
back.
clothes. They wore his clothes, drove his fucking cars, lived in his house until what came on top. It's like, where the fuck is he? So these were non-villains. And there was always a bit of guilt about, I'm not saying it's a funny burial, right? There's no such thing as a funny burial, but the younger one was getting earache that tried to dig a grave in the sand because the sand's falling back. So apparently he'd done it quick in a circle. Right. And just put him in like that. He said, that's not a grave. He went, put him in little fetal position.
Somebody will find him.
Terry, that's one of the stories the Malaga. And I want to call it unorganized crime.
I love that.
Unorganized crime. It's just things that happen by accident that if you were organised, right, you take a bow if you've done this. But there's a variety of different Scottish stories of people that went on the run that met some of the big English names. So that is a TV series. It's totally different.
It's brilliant. The thing is, though, like you just talking about that story, it's so mad, right? But and you know, people just imagine that's just a normal fucking day at the office. Do you know what I mean?
But this guy, he played Russian roulette for quite a while. He's quite known for it, right? But what he used to do,
but you'd actually think like you might be a veteran at playing Russian roulette, but you think you check the fucking chamber before you played it, wouldn't you?
Jack Daniels.
Oh, he's probably on it. He just thought,
what I know is the revolver situation. You put it around in the bottom and spin it. the gravity will take it past. It will never stop where you're going to pull the trigger with one round on it, because gravity will always take it past it.
So he kind of knew that. It's like,
He knew that, but one of the brothers took all the fucking bullets. You're not going to run about with one bullet. So he put the rest of the bullets on it and stashed it. And the fella found it and done the thing. Obviously mad with Jack Daniels. I'll go first. Man.
when Russian roulette goes badly.
Aye, when Russian roulette actually works.
So you're working on the TV, the unorganized crime, My Bad TV show. You got the film, and are you doing another book?
No, the last book I done was a tribute to Reggie McKay. That was Unfunny's Business with Stu Wheatman and Steve Wraith.
Did they, with the book, did they change the name of the book to The Wee Man, or has it always been
There's
Conspiracy?
no.
Because that's what Carlton did. When Carlton released his book, it was Muscle. But when the film came out, he re-released it under...
No, there's never been a book called The Wee Man.
Do you know what? It might be worth asking the publisher whether he'd be up for it, because of the film success,
But
people will go, I'll have that fucking book.
Problem is, I've already spoke to Reg McKay's agent. Now, Reg McKay sadly died of cancer many years ago. And dealing with his agent, she now deals with his estate.
Got it.
And he's got 10 books. I've only done a couple of them. So I'm trying to get an agreement to turn them into audio. And I've got to jump through hoops about your own life story and all the rest of it. And because you've signed a contract. And I was never financially motivated. You're not going to retire with books, as you know. But it lets you allow and get your message out. And because we retained the rights, the visual rights, that's how the Wee Man happened. And now we're basing it on something else. So the agents, they're there for a fee, and I fully respect that. And they're looking after Reggie's estate, which now is his wife, Jerry. And I've conceded all grounds, even any payments that goes direct to her now. So that's who it is. And I know he would have done it for me.
And there's a rumour, well, it's not a rumour, it's been in the papers, that you're going to become the Podfather.
I thought you were the Podfather.
No, well, look, I can be the South Podfather.
The South.
We can,
hands across the wall.
We can cut a line. But I saw the article and it made me laugh. And then when we spoke and you said you were doing it, I thought, what a great thing to actually have somebody who's lived their life to actually do it.
But I think it was not brought upon me. It was somebody that wanted to get to the heart of it and said, I know you've been a guest on several things, but do you know, I think that you can get guests on and you can not interrogate them, but this is where you are. The Here and Now podcast it's a bit like yourself, Terry, if I get you on. What are you doing now? And the 30-second or the 60-minute, the 30-second or the 60-second intro to who you are. So you don't know what school you went to, what you've done. People know who you are. They know who we are. But for the benefit of people who don't know, I think the intro for the podcast is relevant. I think
if you've done a podcast where you've actually gone, I've grew up here, I've done this, I've done that.
Yeah.
When you've done a few of them, you don't need to do any more. But I think what's always good is to have the highlights because what it does, it means in people that genuinely go, wow, this guy's fucking great, I want to know more. They're going to buy the book. They're going to watch the film. They're going to watch the podcast.
That should be done in tandem with publishers. But I'm under contract and I've gave all the rights away to do what they're doing, apart from the new one with Steve Wraith. So as far as books are concerned, no, I don't. The last one was a tribute to Reg. That's Unfunny's Business. I was intending to do Unfunny's Business, the business years, about going straight for 22 stretch and how hard that is. But I think people would know how hard that is anyway. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And I can look back on it now and say I've paid in excess of 7 million quid in taxes through corporate since 2002 until 2017. And if I never paid that, you would read another headline. The money that Ferris could have paid, we could have had nurses, doctors, police, firefighters.
Still a bad guy.
Well, they don't write, because he's paid us that.
So
You know, I'm glad I've done it, Terry. I went too straight, to be quite honest.
So the question that I'd like to ask you, Paul, is, you was doing crime for however long, 3 decades, 4 decades, whatever it was, and you've obviously gone straight. What does crime pay, or does being straight pay?
Crime pays when you're getting it, but looking forward to the technical proficiency that law enforcement have got just now, the eavesdropping, bugs, covert human intelligence. I've known people recently that have just got 25 threads, right, on the basis of the EncroChat, right, and then they've still got to go up and face it's like a civil matter, Terry. What they'll do is they'll calculate how much you've earned, and then they'll hit you with a fine, and that's consecutive. So if somebody's doing 25 stretch, and then they go up for this financial MOT thing, that they're going to be told, if we don't get this amount, you're getting this, which is 10 years. And that starts after they finish the 25.
So they're probably never going to come out.
Probably never going to get out. Then they use that on the basis that deters other people, because the whole point about it is, even if you've got 100 million, for example, right, how much would you pay to stop your family standing up for a visiting table and walking out, and you've got to get back that way? Where's it? What? You can only spend about 50 quid in the canteen. Okay, they have done a great life. What have you done? What have you done? To me, that's a catalyst for change. It's a time where, right, okay, then we'll put hands up here. And for me, when I read the security services reports, Belmarsh, I knew when I get out, I'll just go and get on with the sentence.
Time's up.
Time's up. You come against these people, you get gone away. And a lot of people laughed, because I said that. I even laughed myself. Coming from an environment that you've been in for so many years. And then you get some of the old Bill jumping on and saying, Leopard don't change his spots, and he's not got the brains. And here we are, 22
You proved him wrong, Paul.
No, I'm still proving him wrong. 22 years later, and again, shining a light on things that need to be shown upon.
I mean, and I suppose if you look back on your life, and if someone said to you, Paul, we've invented time travel, you can go back and you can change your career. So you don't have to be a criminal, you can do something else. Do you think you would still go for the same thing, or do you think you would change it?
I think going back is something in which it's hypothetical. It's something. What would you change?
But some people say they wouldn't change anything because it's made them who they are.
No, I think there's elements that what you would change, but what you would change there would have ramifications on time travel to where you are just now. So if you're getting back to right or wrong, the ramifications is going back. I think the analogy is good, but would you listen, even to yourself as a younger? No, because you knew better, or you thought you knew better. Never mind your mum and dad.
And anyone watching this that's thinking, I fancy being a criminal right now, do you think that job's done?
No, I think there's still the allure.
There's still opportunities.
Well, there's still
but it's a lot harder now.
It's not so much harder, Terry. The same thing still as unemployment, financial things that they want that they could never get legally. So they start with jeweler's shop, they start with this, then there's gangs, then there's different things like that. But there is a time where it becomes reflection. That when you're in that prison cell on your own, either watching the TV if you're lucky to have a TV, or you've done the SEG because you've kicked off or whatever it is, this is something which, just to have a key for your front door, to go to the shops in the morning, buy a newspaper, a pint of milk for your cereal, and come back, how much is that worth? And there's a lot of these boys that will not go that. A lot of boys are kind of looking at what they're doing. So my advice to the younger ones, listen to your elders a bit more.
So take the proper advice.
All right.
We'll get fucking proper job.
No, it's just one of the ones that to tap into their own talents. And I know we go back to knife crime. It's the same boys that are carrying knives for comfort. They're in the gang culture, and to remove yourself from the gang culture, the gang will turn on you. So it's gang rules. It's no household rules. Okay, when you go in at night, your mum and dad's there, you better behave because you're going to get a clump.
Right.
You got your dinner. No, all these sort of things. So gang membership and running Little Park will always be broken because somebody will fold and put everybody else in, even when they've done the whole damage. So that's how it's better to be, if you're going to do something, walk away yourself. Be your lone man.
Or your own woman in that woman.
Oh, your own woman. And that, again, you're absolutely spot on. And I mentioned the Connie Hearth, who was sent down to London and has now just finished a life sentence. So full respect for how she carried herself. And
she's just come out now.
Just come out, yeah.
Oh, we'll have to get on the podcast, Paul.
Oh, you won't get her on the podcast.
Oh, right, because some people won't do it, will they?
No, I don't. It's nothing to do with that. They've done a bit. It's in the past, but she's got massive respect for people, for me in Scotland, right through to Manchester, Liverpool, Salford, especially Salford, and Eccles. So you're right, man or woman.
Well, Paul, it's been an absolute honour and a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait to watch your first episode of the podcast. Do you want to tell us what the podcast is called so we can put a link in it for you?
Well, what we've got is a working title called The Here and Now Podcast. What we'll start with the guest having a 30-second or a minute intro so that people know who they are. In the event that they don't even know who the guest is or what I'm all about. So the here and now is what you're doing right now, and then going back to what they're doing. First guest up was Brian Anderson for his books. He's got to take all the photographs for Freddy Foreman, and it's got to be
I've seen the books he's done. They're really good.
Oh, no, he's been shafted a few times, but we're not on there to have a go at other people who you know about. For example, so we'll leave that one and let it go.
But we make sure when we put this episode out, if your podcast is launched by then, we'll make sure we put the link in so people that watch this podcast can then come and see you in action on our site.
And then I'll put your link in on the historical one that we've just done.
No, thanks very much.
Good man.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Terry Stone Connection. Paul Ferris, the wee man, what a legend, what a great guest. Make sure you tune in next week. We've got another fantastic guest. And make sure you press that subscribe button because you don't want me sending those Glasgow boys round. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you drop a comment below on what you think of the episode. And we will see you on the other side.